Hello, everyone, and welcome to TopoDOT TV. Today, with me, I have Andrew Pokorny at RW Engineering and Surveying. He's going to tell us a little bit about his experience with TopoDOT. Thank you, Andrew, for coming here and talking to us.
Yes, thank you. So the transition to bringing TopoDOT and TopoShare into our fold has been a pretty seamless operation. We started as a very small company where we only have about 30 people at our company. So bringing on a system like TopoDOT has been huge for our company because it just really increases what we can do with such a small group of people. And without a product like TopoShare to distribute and manage our information, we were handing small flash drives back and forth to each other and trying to manage our data that way. But once Jennifer and the team really got a hold of us and showed us a better way to do it, we were able to incorporate that into our workflow to really increase our productivity and reduce overlap between what one extraction technician was doing versus the other. And really, it actually drove our costs down in the process of incorporating that in because we found that working through the cloud versus a lot of physical servers that we had in house, it was easier to manage overall, less overall work that we had to do in house in order to maintain the same quality of information and reduce the time that we were able to get extracted data out.
Understood, and I really appreciate your take on this because a lot of times people think that they need to have a huge operation in order to incorporate TopoShare, but I'm glad that you're, sharing with us that your group size is not like, let's say tremendously big, that is like offices all over the world, but it's like a close group of users. But tell us a little bit about the efficiency, just like a quick comparison of how it used to be maybe in time-wise, what it used to be processing in tandem on a project versus now that you've incorporated. And by the way, Andrew has incorporated TopoShare Basic, which is part of TopoDOT, the TopoDOT license. All you really needed to have is the cloud server, correct?
Yep.
Right, so tell us a little bit about that efficiency, please.
Okay, so we had been, passing hard drives back and forth or holding information on our local server, and the expense per gigabyte was pretty high in comparison to now that we brought the cloud into the mix. We've unlocked the ability for our coworkers to work remotely without access to a real way to share it efficiently through TopoShare. We were handing off, full trajectories and trying. Yes. So actually having things parsed out into data sets that were chunked appropriately in a size that we could say that technician A could be working on tiles 1 through 10, and technician B could be working on 11 through 20. That really allowed our teams to work more efficiently with less overall input directly from the management without a way to really distribute out bite-sized chunks. We were having to fight, download times or switching from one computer to the other, and it's been a godsend being able to incorporate TopoShare into our workflow because as a small company, when we got on board with the mobile mapping, the terrestrial, the aerial LiDAR, we had challenges initially because we were working as a small firm. We had a little bit less to work with. We don't have a multi-million-dollar budget that we can work with.
Exactly.
So being able to be efficient and having TopoShare Basic as a free service that's included with our license has been really a game changer for us. When it was just me operating, start to finish, it wasn't that big of a deal. But once we started, hiring, expanding, bringing more systems online, we really couldn't have done that without the ability to distribute that information in a way that was efficient and cost effective.
Right, and actually that resonated with something that I mentioned in a class that that I'm glad that we were on the same wavelength, because I was mentioning that even if you're a small firm or even just a one-person shop, just starting implementing these best practices will just go a long way later when you start growing your team and you don't have to kind of like start thinking about ways to manage all of this information efficiently, right? Like if you start producing these files from the get-go, from your origin story, then you don't really have to worry about trying to figure things out later. So I'm really glad that you are able to incorporate this, and we really look forward to seeing all of your great work with TopoShare Basic. I appreciate your time here with us, and enjoy the conference.
Yes, certainly. I really appreciate the time and the education you guys are providing to everyone that's here is really valuable, and especially when you're a small firm, because that I don't have to distribute to 300 people. I'm just sharing it with the group amongst us. So we really appreciate the time and what you're providing here.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Good. Thank you so much for doing this.